I have a question for you. Have you ever seen a porn advert before? Be it on social media, on TV, in a cinema? Because I know I have never seen a porn advert before, and I know it is the same for most people. So, have you ever stopped to think, why is porn quietly becoming a problem at the global scale? Almost every sermon you hear online are ministers warning believers about masturbation and urging them to turn away from pornography. I mean, Christians, which should be the least of, the concern, but these are Christians getting into bondages. Why is there a surge in the use of sex toys all over the place? Many people are coming under the bondage of lust through pornography, through masturbation, through fornication, and they are getting drunk with the spirit of lust. These things are happening because we are not paying attention to the one thing that is in every household. The one thing that many people, believers included, cannot do without. And it is also the thing that takes people, including Christians, back into bondage after they have received deliverance from these addictions. And that is movies, that is television. You see, Hollywood movies are intentionally filled with provocative sex scenes that slowly fills you with lust through the eye gate. And even though you may not have the spirit of lust at the beginning, it slowly fills you with lust to a point where a spirit gets involved. You see, television by itself is telling a vision. And the reason why we call them channels and programs, because that is literally their function. And this black screen is a window access for the enemy into every household on earth. So keep in mind that the same directors of Hollywood movies and the same directors of pornography all bow down to the same God, to the same false God. And their ultimate agenda is to bring the world into a state of perversion through lust of the eyes, through the lust of the flesh. The porn industry makes their advertisements through Hollywood movies. So you will never see the advert online or social media because the Hollywood movies is their means of advertising. All they need to do is to give you a taste of their products with just short, provocative sex scenes. And just like a fish bait, many people are drawn, many people are hooked, many people are taken away by their own lust and enticed. That is why James chapter 1 verse 14 says that each one is tempted when he is drawn away by his own desires and enticed. So these industries, they understand psychology and they know how to entice men into lust, into falling into the hand of the devil. Remember, behind the whole game is the enemy controlling the scene. Now, if you're one who pays attention, you must have noticed that in movies, sex scenes appear suddenly and randomly. But the truth is, they are not random. They are programmed to provoke you, to stir up sexual urge, to spike up your blood pressure, and then the scene is cut. This leaves you in a state or with an appetite that demands to be satisfied. And you're giving just enough to trigger curiosity. Think of it like drugs or to begin a loop of addiction. Remember, with every movie that you watch, it is being stored in your subconscious. And these things are done intentionally. Those short clips of 30 seconds, soft porn are being stored in your subconscious. And it will eventually trigger a desire, a burning desire in your spirit man. It is that appetite that drives many people to watching porn and by the evil suggestions that come in their minds. And then they are hooked just like an addict, and they are brought under the bondage to sex demons and find themselves with an insatiable thirst that cannot be satisfied. Proverbs chapter 6 verse 27 says, "Can a man take fire to his bosom and his clothes not be burned?" Songs of Solomon 8 verse 4 says that O daughters of Jerusalem, do not stir up or awaken love until it pleases, until the time is right. If you're a Christian lady, if you're a Christian young man, you cannot continue to indulge in these movies. There are movies that you can watch, but you must stay off from movies that entice your sexual urges, that try to stir up in you lust that leads to addictions. These things are done intentionally. Remember, what you behold is what you become. That is why we are seeing the increase of sex toys all over the place, unclean images. These things are being stored in the subconscious mind, and over time, it leads to a debased mind. This is also one of the reasons why many people are getting connected or getting entangled with sex demons, sexual dreams, sexual engagements in the dream. Because of this defilement of the mind, you open your mind gates to unclean spirits when you consume these things continually. When you open yourself up, your eye gates to lust, you fill your eyes with the spirit of adultery, with the spirit of immorality. Almost everything now can be sexualized because of how defiled, how unclean the mind has become in the society at large. And this is also one of the reasons why, while many people are trying to pray, they find themselves having unclean thoughts. You are being defiled before God, because if you're praying and having unclean thoughts, you are immediately disconnected from God, because that is sin. When you are a slave or bound by masturbation, you cannot be free if you keep going back to the source of that bondage, that is lustful entertainment or sexual movies. You cannot eat from the table of demons and eat from the table of Christ. You must separate yourself from the things of the world.